When it's Friday night, there's nothing to do. Start a new show and you suck like glue. What I binged this weekend.
So da 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 something Oscars, blah blah blah. Welcome to what I binged this weekend. I would like to inform you what I binged this weekend. There were a few hints here and there. I've watched a lot of television. It's ranged from comedy to medieval action flicks. And I think I'm going to lean with the latter and say that I only binged medieval action flicks. And the two that I want to talk about specifically is one by a yeah, it's going to go badly. The one that is starring two amazing actors, Hayden Christensen and Nicolas Cage. The title of that is Outcast, and I've been, just extremely overjoyed to see it out. It showed up on Netflix, and I decided to give it a go one night, and then proceeded to watch it twice just to make sure I fully understood all the extremely deep details taken in this movie. Sorry, I'm kind of scarred for life. It was amazing. If you want to laugh at something as hard as I laughed, you want to watch this movie. So, because, Nicolas Cage is this knight, right? Mm-hmm. Former knight. He's now, some bandit called, the White Ghost or something. Because in China, all white people are ghosts. And, so it's pretty funny. And the best part is his hair has this weird knot thing on the top, and so it comes off to the side. Not quite a top knot, because it's like he's just bowed it together, and so it's flowering over the top, and it's super long, so it's coming off to the sides. And you can very clearly tell that it's a wig because it doesn't match his actual hair. And then on top of that,
I also feel like Nicolas Cage with really long hair would be funny in itself.
Yeah, it's a really hilarious look. And the best part about his character is that beyond his accent, which is terrible, because it's just Nicolas Cage trying to be European. Okay, not British, not French, not German, European. He's trying to be European. His accent is that good that it ranges from all the different nationalities you can get. But the other funny feature is he has a scar over his right eye, okay? But it's literally the length of my finger. So it's starts up here and it goes down, and it doesn't go past the bottom of his eye. And so you see him and he's looking like this, and he's talking in his, European accent. And my wife walked in and goes, "Why is he winking at Hayden Christensen?" Because it just looks like he's winking the entire time. He's just, going to town with that eye. And then some other funny things. Hayden Christensen still looks like he's 15 years old. And he still acts like he's 15 years old. And his haircut doesn't make any sense to me. He is an opium addict. And apparently he's a really good sword fighter. But it doesn't matter because he almost gets killed.
So he's not that good.
So he's not that good. But they set him up where he's high on opium. He's apparently opium back in the Middle Ages was just charcoal. Because it looks like someone just got some charcoal briquettes and put it in this little paper. And so he's he gets high as balls. And then he starts...
High, though.
It depends. For Hayden Christensen, they're pretty high. And, so he gets high as balls. And then, someone's like... Ooh, and he's like, "Give me back my sword, bro, that's mine." And he's high, right? And then he somehow defeats these super talented guards. I don't know, but he's tripping balls, very, very clearly tripping balls. And he's throwing a sword like a spear, impaling people on. It's just really stupid.
So the balls are high, but just high enough to where you can still trip on them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just ridiculous that they set him up like that. And then, he goes sober, and then he doesn't because someone makes him OD, and it's stupid. And so to contrast Outcast, I watched Ironclad, There Will Be Blood or something like that. I don't know. There's Ironclad and then Blood somewhere in the subtitle. And basically it's a continuation of a not bad movie from, like, I want to say 2011, 2012, that's just called Ironclad, and it's talking about how the King of England sieged Rochester, like the Rochester Castle or something, to get the Magna Carta. I looked it up. The events are definitely not historically accurate. So if you want historical accuracy, don't watch that movie. But it was some really interesting hardcore fight scenes. So I had decent expectations for Ironclad Something Blood. And the two biggest things I could pull from it, well, three biggest things I could pull from it is the lady who plays Caitlin Stark, she's in it. There is a guy who looks extremely similar to Benjen Stark. Like, he has the hair that comes off, like, long hair, it's pushed back a little bit, and then it goes down his shoulders. He's got this weird, like, angled, narrow face, and something about him, I was sitting there going, oh my god, it's got to be that same actor. I'm like, this is crazy, they got two Game of Thrones actors, ha ha ha.
They both die. Spoiler alert.
Yes, spoiler alert, they both die. But I looked it up, and it's just some dude. It's not the guy that played Benjen Stark. And I was sitting there for half the movie going, it has to be him. I was convinced it was him, and it wasn't. I was really disappointed. And the third thing is, apparently no one thinks anything modern day of two cousins making out. Because the love interest for the main character is his cousin.
But you have your cousins, then you have your first cousin.
What did you say? But are we going by Mean Girls standards?
Here. Okay. Caitlin Stark is his aunt. And Caitlin Stark is his cousin's mom. First cousins. Maternally.
So he has two different types of blood relation that just then makes it more weird. We don't know.
I don't know, because he started making out with her, and then I was like, what? And then, they broke it up, and they're like, oh, this isn't okay. But they weren't talking about, oh, we're cousins. They were talking about how he's unchaste or some shit like that.
Was he part of, like, the royal family or something?
Nope. Okay. They were, just English, like, not even barons or anything. They were, like, lower, what do they call the stupid people?
Peasants?
No, the ones above peasants. I don't know.
Merchants? Serfs?
Not serfs. Serfs are worse than peasants. I don't know. Anyways, terrible. And then here's the best part. Later, his cousin finds out that he's actually being paid to do this. He's not just doing it because, yay, honor or some shit. And then she's like, how dare you? Are you just going to leave because, we don't have any more money? And he's like, you can pay me with something else. Actual dialogue, and he was not talking about blood. And so beyond just the, oh, you made out with your cousin, and you're sober, he's trying to solicit his teenage, presumably cousin, for payment via body. And yeah, that was really fucking weird. I started laughing because it was so weird. And then I realized what I was laughing at, and I went, oh no. So, yeah.
So you did watch comedies?
Yeah, I did watch comedies.
Medieval comedies.
Medieval comedies that were posed as action movies. And if that's how you approach these two, it's fantastic. Especially, so the guy that looks like Benjen Stark, when he dies, he gets his head cut off. But the weird thing is, he gets ganged up on, and then, he's knocked down, and then he stands up, and then this Scottish dude has this claymore, and he swings it, and he cuts his head off. But the guy's against the wall, so the sword comes in and hits him, like, right there. And literally, as before the sword even comes onto screen, you see his head morph into a digital version of his head. And it's not even like, oh, that's really hard to see. It's, he looks real, and then he looks like a computer. And then, he gets his head cut off, and his head's just lying on top of the blade, and it's very clearly digital, like his eyes are like milky white and stuff, and then as his body starts dropping, there's like blood squirting out. So it's got the arterial spray that is completely fake, the terrible CGI head, and I just started laughing. And I probably woke up my neighbors at that point, so I feel a little bad. But yeah, so I ended up watching some medieval comedies, and they like this, It had the weird first cousin incest to Nicolas Cage winking at everyone in a European accent, Yeah, they call me the White Ghost, but don't say it to my face. Honestly, I can't even reproduce what he did. He's Nicolas Cage. He's you can't even reproduce what? Oh wait. God, that was something else. So if you have a choice, don't watch them. Or if you do watch them with a smile at hand, because it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
So would you rate it?
If I'm into
5 decapitated fake heads or what?
Honestly, for like a B-rated action flick, I'd probably put it at like 7 decapitated fake heads. But if we're just talking about like in the scope of things, God, like 1.5 decapitated fake heads.
Like they went to decapitate him, but they couldn't get it all the way through. So
it's like it's like nearly headless Nick.
So you have one Rob Stark and a nearly headless Nick.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So, the end. Reorganize.